guys, Youngblood Fantasy 91 here with another commentary for you wonderful people. Well, I don't want to state the Captain Obvious here, but it appears that our old friend the Knothole resident moved again to an alternate account because he decided that evading criticism is the only option he has, despite opening the sluice gates for more criticism by posting his plethora of short video vignettes that describe his life. I mean, it's funny, he's trying to find validation in his life by falsely claiming he works for Nintendo when there is no proof that he does, and he also tries to find validation in his strange fetish by posting videos of him going outside in his diaper with his Pinkie Pie security plushie by his side. But today we're going to look at another one of his attempts to justify his paraphilic infantilism, a pedantic and obtuse video regarding the idea of normality and how the active removal of years of psychosocial development should be embraced rather than treated as a legitimate psychological malady. Also, quick disclaimer, the video was removed, but don't worry, he made a follow-up video that clearly showed why his video was off base to begin with. I'll listen in and I'll see what I have to say about this.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Well, due to the increasingly number of comments and private messages that I've recently been bombarded with, I felt compelled to take this opportunity to answer some frequently posted questions/comments.
Because criticism is so unacceptable, and the internet doesn't deserve to have any alternate opinions. I mean, exchanging of ideas is a silly idea, right?
Now, I understand that YouTube is a breeding ground of trolls and just plain malicious individuals, but the sheer amount of ignorant comments that I've had the displeasure of combing through truly indicates that I need to make a few clarifications.
Oh no! People had the audacity to say, well, I disagree with what you said, so therefore I am going to say you're wrong, and I'm going to explain why you're wrong, in the hopes of you understanding my position on the matter. To which the response from Digibrushstroke will be, whoa, that's so ignorant, you don't understand me, ugh! Keep what he says in mind, because this will be significant later.
So, without further ado, here we go. Number 1. Are you autistic or have some type of mental disorder? Well, obviously no, because A, I could form coherent sentences.
I just made 5. And wow, what an ignorant statement. For someone who is so insulted and offended by ignorance and misinterpretation, you're quite adept at channeling ignorance and spouting misconceptions about autism. Spectral disorder? What is that?
B, I'm not socially inept. And C, I'm versatile in a variety of skill sets.
I know Tubers93 is going to love me for this. This is Daniel Tammet. Daniel Tammet is an autistic savant. This means he has a bunch of skill sets that enable him to perform a wide variety of cognitive tasks. He memorized pi to more than 22,000 digits, can speak 10 languages, and can perform huge mathematical calculations. Versatile definitely describes him, but I suppose you're later going to make a flimsy apology video to absolve yourself of all blame. Oh wait, but I will get to that later.
You see, if I didn't possess any of those abilities, I wouldn't be able to operate a camera, edit footage, and upload it to YouTube.
And yet, plenty of autistics manage to figure out the oh-so-complicated mechanics of making videos and publishing them. This guy, need I say more? Also, because autism is spectral, many autists from all areas of the spectrum did indeed make their videos public. I'm not going to say all of them are good, but I am going to say a lot of autists figured out the upload feature on YouTube, somehow.
And you know, this kind of leads to the one thing that kind of irks me. Why do people use blanket terms such as autism to label someone who engages in activities that differ from their own?
I don't know. Why is it that you use ignorant as a blanket term to describe everyone on YouTube that disagrees with you? Riddle me that, good sir, before you start complaining about the word autism being used as a blanket term to describe a series of disorders that are defined as a continuum of symptoms in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 4th edition.
Oh, that's right, because it isn't considered normal. But we'll get to that topic later on.
Sadly, though, if you're talking about any disorder that is discussed in the DSM-4, then yes, it is abnormal psychology. Schizophrenia is abnormal. Dissociative identity disorder is abnormal. These sort of mental disorders are abnormal because these are disorders that can become serious enough that it can cause people to harm themselves and others. If you're going to use the word abnormal as another blanket term to describe those that pervade the norm, you need to understand that abnormal is not a pejorative or insulting term. It's a term used to describe aberrant and unusual behavior. If you take it personally and become a vigilante for destruction of normalcy, then you actually need help. Fidget, fidget, fidget.
Number 2. How dare you exploit the government by claiming disability to pay for your sick lifestyle? You're kidding me, right? I don't know where to begin to tell you how inaccurate that statement was.
Ponies are so hilarious and relevant, XD. But in all seriousness, this sort of criticism arises when you keep parading your lifestyle choice around as if it were the new clothing you purchased at JCPenney's.
Okay, well, first off, I'm not claiming any type of fiduciary handouts. Why? Because believe it or not, I actually have a full-time job, which I'm very passionate about. The income I make is actually pretty decent enough for me to live a comfortable lifestyle, which is how I'm able to afford such luxuries.
But the thing is, we don't know jack about your job, and you probably work at some low-end IT place, and instead of revealing that truth, you claim you work for Nintendo. So we don't know what you think. Either you're a pathological liar or you're hiding your shame, and either way, it's not bolstering your case.
What is my occupation? Well, I will say I'm a digital illustrator for a marketing firm, and quite honestly, my AB lifestyle is very conducive to my position, because it's nurturing to my creativity and allows me to push the envelope of my talent.
So, let me see if I have this straight. If you're asked to submit drafts of a new game that involves lots of violence, lots of shooting, lots of war, and lots of carnage and pain, you're going to rely on your adult baby lifestyle to give you inspiration. Because let's face it, Sesame Street gave video game developers enough of an impetus to create the Modern Warfare franchise. I'm dead serious.
Because when you're a kid, there were no boundaries or guidelines to your imagination, and that's the type of vibe I'm trying to recapture.
And when you're an adult, your imagination suddenly shrivels and atrophies. I could name an almost endless series of authors, poets, artists, musicians, and architects that relied on creativity and imagination to forge their works. I'm sure as an adult we can have active imaginations. Acting like a veritable child where you have a diaper pretty much cramps on this sort of adult mentality. So it's not a question of imagination as much as it is a question of maturity.
But the other thing I wanted to expound on is that I am a productive member of society. Despite the fact of what you see on YouTube and such, I do freelance on the side designing album covers for local rock bands, and I participate in charity marathons. Because, I run cross-country. It's really fun.
You know, for a busy guy, you seem to have enough time to invest in making these little 1-minute glimpses into your adult baby life with MLP slopped on the side. Based on this, we see a pathetic chronicle of your life, Rich. We see someone who goes outside in a diaper, and we see someone making epic MLP references despite you saying you do a myriad of other things. How wondrously droll. More fidget, fidget, fidget.
Number 3. Why are you doing this? It's not normal. Normal, you say? Well, buddy, normal is an arbitrary statement that's sadly been associated with this conformist ideology on how a human being is supposed to function in the world.
Of course, normal represents conformity, but social norms are usually the precepts every single functioning person follows to find friends and acquaintances, as well as survive on a day-to-day basis. Also, this sort of we hate conformity idea actually breaks down when you realize that those who despise conformity agree with each other in terms of their weird qualities, thus becoming agents of conformity. So in effect, they conform to not conforming. Either way, you got to conform to a series of social norms and rules, otherwise communication between people is ineffectual, and abiding by the law becomes unnecessary.
To me, and a lot of other people, normal is about finding contentment in yourself regardless of other people's perspectives.
So that's your definition of normalcy. Then that means a bunch of other people are acting normal along with you. You seem to lose the whole I'm unique sheen as a result. Look, I feel I'm not the most conventional human out there, but many things I do have to conform to social standards, and there really is no way around it, unless if you were clinically insane and became divorced from social processes. A famous quote by John Donne, "No man is an island."
And I actually have a perfect scenario to present in this matter. For those who are unfamiliar, this is Tom Gable, lead singer of the punk band Against Me. Ever heard of them? Seriously, go check them out if you haven't. They're pretty awesome.
Okay, as much as there are many reasons to criticize him, at least he has some form of musical taste. Then again, I would recommend The Adolescents.
Anyway, Tom Gable recently publicly announced that he was transgender and was undergoing a sex change operation. Now, what really perplexed me about this unprecedented news...
In regards to this entire anecdote, there is a world of difference between paraphilic infantilism and feeling as though you are a transgender. Homosexuality and transgender people are not mentally unstable. In fact, many organizations claim that they are mentally there. Paraphilic infantilism, no matter which way you slice or dice it, is a maladaptive psychological disorder that has its roots in sexual fetishism. This entire analogy, while compelling, cannot hold a candle to something as silly and disturbing as wearing a diaper and voluntarily acting incontinent.
In their own way. And what's wrong with that? Who the hell are you to impede on someone's life, and how exactly is their activities affecting yours?
Let's see, when you have a mental problem that affects other people directly, such as through the internet, then people are going to criticize. And because the internet is a forum for all discussion under the sun, expect people to disagree. If you don't like it, shove off, and don't bother to reveal your fetishes online. That's how it goes. You make things public, you get a reaction. It's simple Newtonian physics, in a social sense.
I have yet to hear a solid answer on that one. Now let's take a closer examination at the most thriving culture of modern communication. YouTube. It's a flourishing site with communities of people who subscribe to a dichotomy of so-called questionable interests. Furries, otakus, video game fanatics, comic zealots, music enthusiasts, bronies. The list goes on, but the one correlation they all share is how they're constantly misunderstood as pathetic, introverted, obsessed man-children who are somehow the subject of scorn and ridicule based on a damn hobby.
Well, all fan bases, whether you like it or not, have people that are so fervent that they will make complete asses out of themselves and other people. If they jump to conclusions such as all criticism serves to hurt or all anti-bronies deserve to die, then they really need to have their head examined. I'm not going to say that these fan bases consist purely of these people, but if you cannot understand this cardinal rule of the internet, then honestly, claiming to have an understanding of YouTube's social dynamics will land on deaf ears.
And here's the most insulting and offensive accusation of them all. Adult babies, diaper lovers, and people into age regression carry the stigma of being pedophiles based on provided information that's misconstrued, which provokes the negative stereotype of how the media portrays us just because of what we do is strange and foreign to them.
Oh, blame the media. The media would not be promoting these ideas were it not for the simple fact that some of these adult babies actually pursue being pedophiles and actually participate in the adult baby community simply based on the sexual excitement they can receive from it. Furries are the same way. Not all of them are riddled with perversion, but some of them are. And some of them engage in acts that make people cringe. This criticism ultimately has a sound foundation. Don't transfer blame to the media when you have the stereotype fully reflected in your own community.
Let's set the record straight, though. ABs do not want to have sex with kids. We want to be kids. It's why we surround ourselves with nostalgia to rekindle the golden age of youth and innocence. Plus, don't you think it's a bit hypocritical to demonize someone's interests when you yourself are involved with one?
Let's thumb through my interests. I like music, I like reading, I like playing my keyboard, I like watching television, I like being a tutor, and I like coin collecting. So let's see, all of these actions do not require me putting on a diaper and pissing my own pants, while at the same time pretending I'm 1 when I'm really 21. I cannot be as easily criticized because the crazies that usually engage in these hobbies don't usually wear diapers, unless if they were old farts that were clinically incontinent, or couch potatoes that are too lazy to go to the bathroom.
Anyway, I hope this video has been informative, and with that said, thank you for listening, and to all you bronies, let's try to instill the original message of this fan base, you know, love and tolerance.
Even though hundreds of bronies get angry when you criticize, love and tolerance is arbitrary, and that's the way it is. Well, I don't have too much to say here, I think I explained it all. I really feel that paraphilic infantilism started as a fetish, and some of the adult babies embrace it to allow them to fire up their fetish. But wait, there is more! Since the release of this video, Richard Kuta released another one to follow up on this video. I just want to play one quote from the video to hit the point home that even he cannot be free of being ignorant. Just listen.
I recently did some extensive research on autism, Asperger's, and all the subset conditions of the disability, and I do realize that there are some people out there that are high functioning and able to engage in regular activities as normal people do.
So you say we should treat you with respect and we should lift the veil of ignorance, yet you didn't bother to do research originally to figure out how much of a pervasive developmental disorder autism really is. Real nice that you can exempt yourself from jumping to conclusions. How self-centered. Anyway, that's all I have to say about this. This is Youngblood Fantasy 91, and ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you all in the brighter later.
But the fool on the hill sees the sun going